Hello students, welcome to the first practical program. So as I already discussed in the previous video, so I have written the program here. So first I'll open my client file and I'll just minimize this, and as usual I'll open my server file. So I have both my client files as well as my server file. So these are my both the files over here. So one by one we'll see and just compare and show you so that you can easily understand it. And the header files for both will be common in nature, as we already know. stdio.h stands for standard input output.h, and standard library we have, and system types for the Unix operating system, and the socket syssocket.h, and net inet is nothing but, as we have seen in our previous video, it is to indicate about our IP address and other things. So first we'll start with our server, and in the server, if you see inside the main function, I created three variables: ss, cs, and conn. So ss stands for server socket, cs stands for client socket, and conn is nothing but the connection variable. So all these are variables you can create on your own. And then I'm creating a struct sock attr underscore in, as we have seen in the slide. This already we have seen in the slide. So for that, the variable name which I'm giving as is as sadd, which indicates server address. So first I'm creating my server socket, as I have shown in my previous video. Socket is a function which contains three parameters. The first parameter is the domain. The domain here is AFINet, which indicates the IPv4 address, and sock underscore stream indicates the TCP socket, and 0 indicates the internet protocol, and by default the value is 0. So this is the first line of every program. And here I've written error statement. If a server socket is not created, if it is issuing some error, it returns -1. If it's a -1, then I'll get a message known as server socket not created, or else I'll get a message known as socket created. That's it, a simple one. And similarly, if you see in the client also, the same manner, I've created a client socket, conn for connection variable, and then same structure, I'm creating the socket attr underscore in, and this time I'm creating a cs, that is a client socket, and the same af underscore inet sock underscore stream, so IPv4 address and TCP. So I'm using the TCP IP protocol stack over here. And then if you see here also, I'm checking the error condition. If the client socket is not created, I'll get the value as -1. If both are equal, then I'll get the message known as socket not created, or else I'll get the message known as socket created. So this is common in both. Not only that, next statement, which in server also, come to the server side. Now in server side, if you see server address dot sin underscore family equal to af underscore inet. If you see in this, the server indicates that it belongs to a IPv4 address family. So it again says that if underscore inet, and then it belongs to one particular port which we have seen. So every socket has to be binded to a particular port. So port equals to H2NS, which we have seen in the previous video. H2NS stands for host to network short. And here I've given one port address, that is 9002, which it's your choice. You can give any other number also. So by default, I gave here as 9002. And then since my server is in local, as my client is also in the local, I'm giving the local address. To indicate the local address, we have to specify inaddr underscore any. All these things we have seen in our previous slides. So similarly here also in the client also we are giving the same thing. So till here both are similar. So we can easily make over the things between the client and server. Now coming to the server side. In server, now socket is created in both the ends. Now server has to bind the particular socket to the port. So if it has to bind the socket to the port, then you have to use the bind function. And here if you see server socket, and it indicates socket underscore sock underscore attr. So we are specifying the pointer to that particular structure, and then we are also passing the address of that structure, even the size of the structure. So we are passing the address as well as the size of the server socket so that the server socket will get binded with the port which you specified over here. Once the socket is binded to the port, then the server must start listening. So in order to listen, we have given a method known as listen, and as we have seen in the previous video, we have only two parameters. The number one is socket ID. The socket ID here is SS, which indicates the server socket, and the backlog is 5. So 5 indicates here the server can connect up to 5 clients. Once the server starts listening, this client, what it initiates, as we have seen in the previous video, it starts connecting. Now the client starts connecting. CBONN equals connect. Connect is a function, and you can see here the same, how we are binding here the same manner the client connects. So here I am using a client socket, here I am using a server socket. So using a client socket, the client connects to the server address. Once if it is connected, if it is connected, you get a message known as connection established. If it is not connected, if the value is less than 0, then you will get no connection established. Once the client issues a request of connection, the server must accept that particular request. So it is accepting the request of the client, and once if it accepts, since we are not passing any messages, we are going to display it as null and null. Once if we pass the messages, they will be passing some message over there. So now server is ready to accept the client's message, whatever it sends. So this is how the overall program works, and in this particular program we didn't mention anything regarding our send and receive. So client is also not sending anything, server is also not sending anything. But as our program states, we have to create a socket and check whether the connection is established. That's it. So this is the overall scenario of the program. Now we'll see about the execution part, how to execute it. After just click this, go to terminal emulator, just open the terminal emulator. It will be opened like this. Once the terminal emulator is opened, and just type over here gcc server.c-o server. Now again open one more terminal emulator and just minimize this so that I can easily show you what is happening. So this is the server terminator, and here also I have to initiate the client. So in order to run the program, you have to type gcc client.c-o for output file, and the output file name is also I'm giving as client. So both the names I'm going to give. So this is for server and that is for the client. Now after open both the windows, but don't execute any one. After opening in both the windows, first you execute the server. Once if you press enter in the server, you'll get a prompt like this. After that type ./server. Once if you type ./server and press enter, you'll get a prompt message like this. And immediately in the client also we press enter. Again execute the client ./client and then press enter. Now as soon as you press enter, you can see some messages that is exchanged between the client and server. And you can see here socket is created in the server side as well as the socket is created in the client side. And now client has been established a connection with the server. So from this we can come to know that client and server has created their own sockets and the communication is established among them. I hope so you understood this program. So we'll meet in the next video with another program. Thank you.